Today on the
Yay.
Surviving the Human Experience podcast, I am excited to welcome Tanya Stokes to the show. We are going to be exploring a topic that is so prevalent to the human experience: the power of becoming, embracing growth, healing, and the journey of self discovery. But before we jump in, I want to share a little bit more about our guest with our listeners so we know who we're talking to today. So, Tanya Stokes is an author, creative visionary, and founder of Compassionate Designs Publishing. She is the author of The Woman on Becoming, a transformative book and journal designed to help women reflect, heal, and grow into the person they are meant to be. Through storytelling, reflective exercises, and honest conversations about life, loss, and purpose, Tanya invites readers to embrace the journey of becoming rather than rushing towards perfection. Her work blends creativity, faith, and emotional awareness to encourage people to confront their past, honor their growth, and step confidently into their future. Tanya is also the founder of the ANT 777 Motorcycle Foundation, established in her son's honor. Her son's name is Turnin. So we'll talk about that foundation as well. Through her writing, art, workshops, and speaking engagements, she is passionate about helping others transform their pain into purpose and live more intentional lives. So welcome to the show, Tanya.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on this beautiful platform. I'm super excited.
I am too. I'm so glad we were able to connect finally. So, we've got an awesome show for our listeners today. You've had such an incredible journey rooted in experiences, growth, and transformation. You've
Mm.
chosen to turn pain into purpose, which I'm so thankful you're doing that and you're using your voice to help others along their journey. Your work is dedicated to supporting others as they navigate their personal journeys while sharing that life is a continual process of growth throughout the human experience. But before we dive in, I do want to begin by taking a moment to acknowledge and honor your son, Tiernan Anthony Stevenson, known as Ant, and commend you on establishing the Ant 77 Motorcycle Foundation in his honor.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
and I would love for you, especially as we get towards the end when we're talking about how people can reach out, that you just give an
Yeah.
opportunity to share about the foundation so that we can get some folks connected with you as well.
Awesome. Yes.
Yes.
Be
All
ready.
right. So let's jump in. The moment we've all been waiting for, the discussions. All right. Here goes the drum roll. So I'd like to invite you to share a little bit more about your journey with our listeners so that they can get to know you a little bit better. I know I gave a nice, good spiel in the beginning, but I want you to go ahead and talk and share who you are.
Who is Tanya? My goodness.
Yes. Who are you?
Tanya. Tanya has transformed into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, and I am loving her
Mm,
from top to bottom. And my journey is one of faith, loss, healing, um, and growth that it's been phenomenal for the last 2 years. So I've started a foundation named after my son, Ant 777 Motorcycle Foundation. And the experience was a personal one because I either could take the blue pill or the red pill. So I decided to take the blue pill
yes.
and turn my pain into something beautiful for his
Mm,
legacy to live on and on and on. So I began by writing, journaling a lot because, losing a child is a lot. So let me break this down for you. So I didn't just lose a child. Two
mhm,
days after, I lost my grandmother. And then
mm,
9 months later, I lost my best friend of 30 years. So three tragedies within less than a year. I'm like, Lord, what is happening? So I got into writing, journaling a lot, a lot, a lot. And then one day, I was like, I need to embrace this. I need to share it. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but even though life got hard through the seasons, I'm still positive. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to,
mhm.
grab people and say, come on, things can get better. It's okay. It's all right. And you don't have to be perfect while you're here to healing either. So there you go.
Mm.
But that's who I am.
Oh my
I'm also
goodness.
I am a creative. So in the back you'll see some photographs that I've taken. And from photographer to publisher to muralist to painter, I'm all over the place. So I am a unicorn, as I like to call
Ooh,
it.
ooh, I love it. And I think that's so amazing because as you go through this journey, being able to have those creative outlets for
Yeah,
expression are so
yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah,
And some of that inspiration comes from those experiences.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most
Wow.
definitely. And I embrace
Ooh,
them all. I
I love
embrace
it.
them all. Yeah.
All right. So, Miss Unicorn, our conversation is going to center around the message of The Woman I'm Becoming from your book,
Hmm.
understanding that life is a continual process of growth. In your book, you encourage readers to confront their experiences, reflect on who they are today, and intentionally shape who they are becoming tomorrow. So let's talk about the book. I
Yeah.
want to start by congratulating you on the courage to share your story with others and for publishing your book because a lot of people talk about doing it and they never get there.
Yeah.
So that's
And
a
put it out there
huge.
for everyone to see. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, take that moment and,
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back because that is a huge thing. You're helping so many people. When we write books, sometimes you don't know who's going to buy it, whose hands it's going to end up in.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it gets
It
where
can
it
be.
needs to go.
It gets where it needs to go. That was my philosophy when I wrote it. Like,
Yes,
if I'm the only one that reads it, I know I'm helping me.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
one person, that's all it takes.
That's all it
That's all.
takes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And if God
Mhm.
places it in your heart for you to
Yeah.
write that and to share that message, you did your
Yeah.
part. Yeah, you're serving your purpose and your mission. All
Yeah.
right, so take us on the journey. What sparked you to write the book?
Okay. So the book came from a very real place, right? And I found myself reflecting on the woman I used to be after
Mhm.
the grief.
Mhm.
Well, I'm still grieving. Let's put that out there.
Absolutely. Doesn't
But
end.
it does not end. And
No.
looking at the experiences that I had and how those experiences shaped me, and
Mhm.
then one day as I was taking my time, my meditation time to
Mhm.
journal at work, I always end my journaling with "I love the woman I'm becoming," because if we're not speaking positivity into ourselves and we're depending on someone else to do that, I don't need anyone to validate me. I can validate
Absolutely.
myself.
Oh.
So that's therapy in itself, right? So as I
Mhm.
was sitting there, I was like, that is a book title. I don't Lord, okay, Lord, what we doing? What we doing?
Yes.
Let me see what would this look like, right?
Yeah.
Let me do some chapter titles.
Mhm.
So I sat there and I came up with 17 chapter titles.
Oh,
The book has 20. And I
nice.
sat there in awe, like, what am I going to do with this? What
Mhm.
am I going to do with this? So um, that's part of my healing. That was a part of the phenomena of just coming up with those 17 chapters in 45 minutes. The title, by the time I looked up, it was a month and a half later. I done written a whole book.
Love it. This is so awesome.
And
This is when
then
God
as
pours into you. He literally gave you the downloads.
he gave me the download, and
Yes.
as I was finishing this download, he said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I need you to write a journal with that too." I
Absolutely. You need the
said,
companion journal.
I
Mm-hmm.
said, but there's journaling space in the book. He's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. They need to
Mm-hmm.
go deep. I want
Yes.
them to go deeper. So each chapter in the book has a chapter in the journal to go way deeper into the chapter,
Mm,
reflection mode all the way in. So if you're going to do the work all the way. Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So that's how the book got sparked.
I love that. And I love how you talk about going in deeper, right? Because so many
Yeah.
people will read a book, they get into the book, they're like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. It's telling me exactly what I need to do and how to do it. They finish the
Mhm.
book, they put the book down, they go on to the next book. And then
Yeah.
somebody mentions that book years later and they're like, yeah, I remember I read that book. But you're
Yeah.
saying, let's go ahead and take all of this information and this knowledge and let's put it into real practice in your personal life.
Yes,
So you can figure out who the woman you're becoming is going to be because you already did your work. You already know who you're becoming. Now this is for the next person. So you're passing that,
yes,
that nice recipe along and saying,
yeah.
okay, let's jump in, let's do it.
Yeah, we're asking the hard questions. We're digging in deep. We're doing the shadow
Yes.
work. We're because in order
Shadow
for you
work.
to become something different than you were before, you have to kill off
You
the
do?
person that you was
Yes.
and come into this new world and figure your way out. Do you like scrambled eggs or poached? I mean, it's as
Yeah,
simple as things like that.
absolutely.
Like,
It is.
you know,
It's
and
that
dying off
rebirth.
old habits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the death and
The
the rebirth.
rebirth. Yes, the rebirth. And
And I'm
mm,
sure you discovered and others discovered that the version of them that was is usually not even the version that they were. It's just the version that the world
mm,
has molded, created, whether it was
mm,
society, whether it was a relationship, whether it was whatever external factors created this person that's
yeah,
now playing this part. I always say it's almost like being being in the play. You're just playing a part until you decide to become the star of your own movie or your own show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And let you be the director.
Yes.
You
Of
can
your own
say
play.
action and cut. Yes,
Mhm.
and not letting anybody else do it for you. So
Woo.
that part.
Mm. That part. That's the intense part. And how many years we get caught up in that game and are, I don't want to say wasted because I know it's all a journey, it's all a process, it's all for a reason. I get that part. But oh my gosh, when that light bulb finally goes off and you're like, wait a minute, I
Yeah,
never liked this in the first place. It's
it's
such a
only wasted.
freeing
It is. It's only wasted if you haven't learned anything.
greed.
You're still, yeah, you haven't learned anything. Yeah, sure, it's wasted because you're
Yes.
still doing the same thing you were doing before. And we don't realize it until a
Hmm.
moment happens, and that's what happened to me.
Absolutely.
I
Hmm.
had tragedy come into my life for me to
Hmm.
like blink, blink, blink.
Hmm.
Hello, this
Hmm.
station is no longer available.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
subscribe to a
Yes.
different station.
Yeah. It's that moment where I always say it's those of us who like to walk through life and just we've got it all figured out. We're doing the thing. And we're so hard-headed that it takes such a major shift or act of something to occur in our lives. And it is
Yeah.
usually tragedy or trauma in some form or another
Mhm.
to shake you to wake you up. It's like we're asleep or something. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what just happened here? Pump the brakes. And you're
Yeah.
forced to change. It's not even an option
Sure.
anymore. Because it's like if
Nope.
you're not listening and you're not hearing the messages, they're there. Were you
Yeah.
listening or did you just kind of say, yeah, I'm going to do it my way?
I'm
Thanks,
telling
God.
you.
Appreciate the memo. However, I got this one. And when we
Mhm.
do that, boy,
When the Lord tells you something and you
listen.
can hear his voice clear as day, and you like, who that?
Hmm. Yes.
What you say?
Yes.
Oh, I need to do that. When you can hear his voice so crystal clear, when you get rid of all the other behaviors that you were doing,
Hmm.
clear
All the
out the room,
noise.
clear it out, and you're able to hear it clear as day, and you
Hmm.
realize that what you were doing was not what you were supposed to be doing. Do everything else
Absolutely.
except for yeah. So
It's
so
gracious.
we can
When we
go
get,
on for
yeah,
days
I
with
know we can go on a tangent. That's when we get put in timeout. Been there a few times. So, yeah. All right. So, you talked about the book. Share a little bit more about the meaning of the title.
So the meaning of the title talks about it's more of a growth,
Okay.
the process of growing, and none of us are fully formed, right? So we have to we have to press the pause button, and we have to say, what do I want? What are my desires? Do they line up with God's promises?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't align, it's not going to happen, right? So
They sure don't.
all those things that you thought you wanted or you needed in your life, guess what? The reason why they're not in your life is because they didn't align.
Absolutely.
The alignment's not
Mm-hmm.
there. Once you get on board with what it is your purpose is and what you're supposed to be doing, everything comes into alignment. It's like butter. It just
Yes.
smooths on, no
Yes.
hiccups, no bump ups, no nothing. You don't have a complication. You're like,
It just happens.
it just happened. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the book, the idea of the book, it came so naturally. It came with no hesitance, no nothing. I did what I was supposed to do. We got the copyright, the ISB number, we got the book cover, we got this, we got that. Month and a half later, boop, product. That
Mm-hmm.
is how your life is supposed to be. Alignment. The
Mm.
title reminds readers to that becoming is a journey. It is a journey, definitely a journey. And it requires honesty, courage, and faith. And
Perfect
that's what I,
recipe.
yeah, honesty,
Mm-hmm.
courage, and faith with
Mm.
that title. So embrace it, walk forward in it, and be glad in it. You're going to be mad a little bit, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because
It's part of the
it's not,
process.
it's part of
I
the
mean, it's
process.
messy, right? It's messy. You have to shed a light on all those dark spaces. We are not
Yeah,
all love and light. We like to think we are
we are not.
sometimes, but we
We
all
are
have
not.
some dark stuff in us, and
We
that's
do.
part of what needs to be uncovered, discovered, and embraced. It doesn't mean you have
And
to just, cast everything away or ignore it and act like it's not there, but you do have to
mhm,
love every inch of you, the good, the
most
bad, and the
definitely.
ugly. Yeah,
And when it comes up, my new mechanism now is, "Ooh, I could use a good cup of," and I said, that was a good time. We're not there anymore. Let's
we're
keep
not
it
there.
moving."
Yeah, that's the old version. Yeah, we gotta come back on over to the good side here. We've already learned some lessons, right?
Exactly. But I give homage to the good time. It was a good
Yes.
time. It's okay.
Yes.
Let's move forward instead of saying, man, dang, I wish I could. And that
Hmm.
puts you in a different type of space. It puts you in a different type of mood in your mind. You get to thinking about it. But once you shut it down and say, oh, that was a good time, I had a
Hmm.
great time. And then you move past it. So
Yes.
I figured that out probably about 6 months ago.
I love it.
Like,
I
I was
love
like,
it.
I need to transition this. How do I transition this into a positive thing and not always seem like it's a negative thing every time a thought comes up? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, because then I'm sure what or you may be experiencing, I know I've experienced this, is you feel like you're missing out on something, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't have fun anymore, right? Or I can't go out and do this because that's not,
Mm-hmm.
what I should be doing. When in actuality, it's just
Mm-hmm.
redefining fun. It's
Yeah.
redefining what's going to be in your life and the boundaries that come with it. Like where do those sit? Because there were some times where I'm like, oh, it's not a boundary there. That's why we're out
Oh,
having all that fun.
all the
So
fun.
all the fun, the quote unquote fun that costs us on the human level, the soul level, and so many other places. But we just have to look at it and reframe it a little bit differently. So I love that you shared that you're doing that because that's a great tool for our listeners to consider as they're going through these transitions. You don't have to completely discard everything about your former life. You can
Yeah.
embrace it, and it's just like when you're 20 you're going to do different things than when you're 30 or 40. I was just
That's
talking to
true.
one of my friends the other day. I was like, girl, the body doesn't work the same in your 40s. Like, you got to bend and stretch in the morning. You got to keep like, it's a real thing. Like, this stuff is serious. You can't just hit the treadmill at the gym or just hit the weights. No, you got to warm up. It's real. So
Real.
it's the
You
same thing
stretch
with life.
before you get out of bed and stretch before
Yes.
you get into bed.
Yes. Yes, you do, because you can definitely pull a muscle getting out of bed. The struggle is real. But it's the same thing as, looking back and reflecting on these things that we've done. It's like, okay, that was fun. Now I'm in a different place in my life, and it's okay
Yeah.
to redefine fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go get a cup of coffee or tea instead of going to the bar. Just all these different things that you just shift a little bit. Yeah.
Or a glass of kombucha
There you go. There
in
you
a
go.
wine
See?
glass.
There you go. I love that. See? See? So you've already redefined this whole thing. I love it.
Hey, I love me
Hey, we
some
got
swimwear now.
We got to do what we got to do. That's all I can say. We got to do what we got to do. All right. So, in your book, you're talking about self love, you're talking about self worth. Elaborate on those key themes that you uncovered and discovered along your journey.
So I realized that how many how our decisions came from who we believe, or what we believe we deserve,
Mm,
right? So um, we tend to only believe we deserve this much,
hmm
but we were promised this much.
Yeah.
And because we weren't introduced to the this much,
Mm-hmm.
we tend to stick right here. Well, I deserve this. This is good. I'm good right here. We can't. Oh no, I don't need that. That's all right. I'll just settle for this.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying to ourselves, "Oh, I can get that," because
Yes.
nothing's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Chopping away at that limited mindset, belief set, that we need to just let that, throw that in trash.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told you you couldn't do something because they just told you you couldn't do it. So you decided, oh, I can't do that. When we start pouring into ourselves, we get a little cocky with it. We like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I want that. How
Huh?
can I get that?
Right.
What do I need to change about myself, or whom do I need to change out of my circle,
Mm-hmm.
right? In order
Absolutely.
for me to achieve those goals, those dreams, that aspiration, because I can get that. I can do that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
who says who? Where is there the law that says I can't? Being around people, and that's another thing. Your circle. Who's in
Mm-hmm.
your circle,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they're
Mm-hmm.
not feeding into you,
Yes.
believing in you and what you can do, then they
Mm-hmm.
can go bye bye, right?
Absolutely.
Call those
Mm-hmm.
people leeches.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yes.
want you to succeed. They don't want you to do any of those things that the big dream that, oh, you can't do that. Why would you want to do that? So
Mm-hmm.
that whole self worth and self love, we need to take that seriously. We need to, if no one else is going to do it, validate yourself. And that includes taking care of your temple. That includes who you hang around. That includes the music that you listen to. That includes the visuals that you see. All of
Yes.
that is included in your self worth and self love.
Oof.
I know I just went on a tangent, but
Oh, I
yes.
love it. I'm here for that. That is my kind of conversation. You are my kind of girl. I love this. It's so true because as I'm listening to you and I'm just thinking of the conversations I've had, I always tell people you got to be careful what you're feeding yourself. And it's not about just the food. It's the news, it's the TV shows you watch, it's the movies you watch. They're all imprinting something in your subconscious. You have to be very vigilant about what is touching your personal space. You have to be careful. And I so resonated with your analogies of feeling like, we're only in this tiny little space and we can't expand out. And it's so amazing to see how many limiting beliefs we pick up along the way because your teacher told you this when you were a kid. You're not good at math. You can't sing, whatever they are. I mean, the list goes on and on from, what I've heard from people. And then you just say, "Okay, I can't do math. Okay, I can't sing. Okay, I can't." And you
Yeah.
accept it without a thought. That's the crazy part. You just literally surrender and you're like, "Okay, it's not for me. I'll just leave that alone." And how much talent is wasted. How many people don't go on the journey that their soul was meant to be on, and the purpose and the passion and all of those things because somebody somewhere said something crazy and you believed it without questioning. So now I
Yeah.
question everything. I check every thought. Like, wait a minute, that's not true. That's just an
Mm-hmm.
intrusive inner critic thought that's coming up. Let me push that over here. Whatever's going on, that's not happening, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
about your business because you're right, it is the sky is the limit. And if you can sit in that space and get into that meditative place, you can manifest
Mm-hmm.
anything you want, honestly.
Anything you want. You know where the richest place is on earth?
Where's that? Tell me.
The
Yourself?
graveyard. The
Oh,
graveyard. You
oh
know
yeah.
how many people have gone and have left this beautiful earth without being able to achieve any of their goals, dreams, and aspirations? We've got books, we've got creations, we've got all types of beautiful ideas that
Yeah.
people never ever acted on.
Mm.
Never ever acted
Never,
on.
never, because they
So
thought
you're
they couldn't
here.
or shouldn't
Exactly.
or wouldn't. Yeah, it's all the
Exactly.
undts. I just noticed that as I was saying that, I was like, "Ooh, there's something
Yes.
about those words. We're gonna have to come up with different ones in the vocabulary."
Of
Yeah,
inventions, everything. They never they
never
live to regret it.
actualized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I say to people, hey, if you've got an idea, go
Go for it.
ahead,
Yep, go
go
for it.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
Until someone tells you no. And then if
Mm-hmm.
they tell you no, go
Just
around
keep
and get
doing it
somebody
anyway.
else's.
Just keep doing it anyway. They
Just
weren't in
keep doing it
alignment with
anyway.
you. They were not in alignment with you. You need to move on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Excuse me, you're messing up my alignment. Get out of my way. I love it. That's awesome. All right, so you talk about confidence as well. So let's go there. Tell me more about confidence, what it means to you, and why it's so important as it relates to the power of becoming.
Confidence to me is, well, first of all, it's not perfection. It's definitely all about alignment.
Mm,
The quiet belief that you can do anything that your heart desires,
mm,
and not allowing any outside entities interfere with your talent, skills, and abilities. Um, Growth, change is inevitable. You need to be able to move, flow, bend. I didn't say break, with all of those things that get put in your way that you may see as a roadblock, but all
mm-hmm,
it is growth. It's stretching you. And that's where people lose it. They lose the interest. They're like, oh, this is too hard. I can't do it.
mm-hmm,
No, it's it's a bump in the road. It's let me figure out why this came up and how can I maneuver my way through it, around it,
mm-hmm,
up it, down it, across from it. It's not saying that to stop. It's to
mm-hmm,
say keep going. Keep going. Your voice, your story matters.
mm. It's almost like a dance.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
cha cha.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're doing
Yeah.
cha-cha, merengue, little
Yes.
salsa. I mean, all of it. You know, as you were
That's
talking and you said you're bending and not breaking, I just pictured like that flow of the dance. You know, you're just doing this. You might do a different step, you might move over here, but you're constantly in rhythm and sync and in alignment. Yeah. Whew. Love
yeah.
this. Okay, so let's talk about boundaries because we have boundaries on the list here. Let's unpack it. What are they? How do you establish them? Why are they important?
So boundaries is for your peace.
Really
Your
is.
peace, protecting your time, your effort, your energy, your emotional well-being.
Mhm.
Boundaries are a must. And for those individuals who are caring and compassionate and have empathy, those individuals, and I'm talking from my experience, we tend,
Here you
well, not anymore because I got plenty of boundaries,
go.
but it's hard for us to build those boundaries.
Mhm.
Like, we the people pleasing and all of that great stuff. No more, no bueno. So,
Mhm.
the but the boundaries are a must. The the no longer can you call Tanya and say, I need you to do such and such at
Mhm.
5 minutes till when you need it. It's
Mhm.
I'm unavailable at that time. Not, oh, you need me? Let me come real quick. No, stop. You have to be able to put those boundaries up. Once you put those boundaries up, guess what's going to happen? People are going to respect you even more, because at first they didn't respect you because they knew, they picked up the telly and said, "Hey, can you come?" And you got
Mhm.
up and you ran and did what they needed you to do. And in the end, they didn't appreciate your time
Right.
at all. They didn't
Mhm.
appreciate your talent at all. So
Mhm.
putting up those boundaries are essential. Yes, you must. And then stand on your word with your boundaries.
Mhm.
Don't bend for no one.
Mhm. Hmm.
Don't make an accommodation for no one. This is what it is. This is my schedule.
Hmm.
I'm not working outside of my schedule,
Hmm.
and that's what it is. I need 2 weeks notice.
Yes. Yes.
If you want me to do something, you need to
Yeah.
let me know because my calendar fills up really fast
Hmm.
and I'm not moving anything for you. I mean, you don't say that to them, but you just
Right.
like,
Right.
no, I'm not available on that day. Try again,
Hmm.
or I'll tell you when I am. But boundaries will, will it will your peace will be kept.
Mm.
We are not we are no longer in the business of our peace being the interrupt. Peace is expensive,
Hmm. It
so
is.
therefore boundaries must be in place.
Yeah. Oh, I love all of this. So it's interesting because as you were talking, what came to mind, because I too have gone on this same journey that you shared. And oh, shoot, what do you need? Oh, let me help you. Oh, no problem. Oh my gosh, forget going to the gym because now I need to go do this for this person. Forget going to, take that nap and get some rest or go to bed at 10 o'clock instead of 3 in the morning. All of these things because you get into this mode of being a people pleaser. And it's
Mm,
interesting because the way you described it, it's almost like you feel like, oh, I did something good for this person. I helped them. And as you shared, they've already moved on. You were a means
yeah.
to an end. That's what
Yep.
you were. And you were
Yep.
just one more person that they knew they could tap because
Mm,
you would say, sure, I'll do it. And I look back at so many times that I said yes when I wanted to say no.
say no.
Your body is telling you no. Your brain is telling you no. Your schedule already told you no. And
No.
your time on the clock said, yeah, no, there's 24 hours in this day. But how we push ourselves for
Mm,
others who don't reciprocate. And I'm not saying we shouldn't every once in a while help people out. That's great. That's fantastic. That's part of, being human and all that jazz. But
yeah.
it's the interruption of the peace that you really pointed out that's huge. That the
Mm,
boundaries are for you. They're not for other
mm.
people. They're for
They're
you.
not for other people. Like my self care is important. My downtime is important. I'm
Yes.
not gonna. My body is important. We're getting a little older these days. I need to do a
Hmm.
little bit
Yeah.
more.
Right.
Um,
You gotta get out of
and
that
I'm
bed
not.
without bending and stretching and hurting
Yeah,
something.
yeah, and I love my 8:30 bedtime. And I'm not burning the midnight oil unless the Lord tells me
Hmm.
to do something for what He has assigned me to do. But I'm not burning it for nobody else. So yeah, so keep with your boundaries and
Words of
don't allow
wisdom.
anyone to break them, shape them, maneuver them.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keep with the boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah. And for our listeners who might be struggling with boundaries, practice on yourself, set some boundaries with yourself first. If it feels awkward saying no to people up front or whatever, you do a little bit here and there. I'm going to do a boundary with myself. My bedtime is this, and then stick to it. Honor yourself. You're worth
Yeah. Mhm.
honoring. Like, come on now, let's get it together. Ah, hello.
It's hard saying no, and I had that issue with saying no, so I would come up with little things like, hey, Mom, let me check my schedule.
Right. Or it's
I'm
not a no,
thinking
but
of
it's not
available.
right now. Right. So I
Yeah.
did start replacing no with because I'm like, I don't know, maybe later, but not right now. It doesn't fit for sure right now. And so that leaves it open. So you still have an opportunity if you want to revisit it later, you can. You just change the wording and change your philosophy, but respect what you have in place and take care of yourself because nobody else is going to take care of you. That's for sure.
No, no, they
So,
won't.
no.
Not as good as you are. So therefore, there you go.
Exactly. When you start honoring yourself, that's when other people start taking you seriously and start honoring and respecting
Exactly.
you as well. Yeah, you have to model the behavior you would like to see, mirrored back towards you for sure.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about healing and emotional growth. They're
Mm.
ever-present themes throughout your work. Healing and emotional growth can look different and vary from person to person. Can you share with our listeners your wisdom and knowledge as it relates to healing and emotional growth?
So for me, healing is layers, lots of layers to healing, whether it looks like therapy, prayer, or journaling, or just simply allowing yourself to feel your emotions.
Mhm.
So a lot of people walk around not feeling the emotions of an incident or in their life, and they tend to hold it in. And that right there, the turmoil and the trauma that you won't release, you won't
Mhm.
feel the feeling, you have to do that. So
Mm.
healing is a layer. You and whichever layer you want to start with first or last or try all of them, you have to be able to give yourself the opportunity to try something outside the box. If you've never journaled before, journal.
Mhm.
If you've never taken a walk in the middle of the day, that's therapeutic too in nature. So for me, healing is layers because I've tried all of them. And
Well,
I've
you keep
benefited from
trying until you figure out what works, right? You keep
them.
trying
Yeah,
until
well,
you figure out what resonates with you. And really, when you're like, that's it right there. Yeah.
yeah.
Whew. All right. So let's talk about courage, intention, and courage. I've got those on my list next here. Oftentimes, when we're in a time and a place that is less than optimal, it can be difficult to envision stepping into your future self. And you talk about courage and intention when you're explaining stepping into that future self. So, can you
Mm-hmm.
share some insight and inspiration for listeners who may be struggling with stepping into that next space? They're there, they want to, they're just stuck. They're like, I don't know what to do. Help me out. Send me a lifeline.
I always tell people that healing is it's not pretty, and you do not have to have everything figured out all at once.
Mm,
We try to, okay, I need to fix this, but I can't fix this until I have this. And then the next thing you know, you're not fixing anything, you're just all over the place.
mm,
But if you take it one step at a time, it is definitely a journey, and take the pressure off yourself and allow yourself some compassion and some empathy
mm-hmm,
and just ease into the process of just not trying to have everything figured out. You're not going to figure everything out. It's
mm-hmm,
a process. And I think that's what discouraged a lot of people when it comes to healing. It's
mm-hmm,
like, oh, I don't want to touch that
mm-hmm.
because that made me feel a certain type of way. And I
Right.
don't want to feel that. But in order for you to heal from that, you got to go in 10 toes down and you got to figure in, you just got to feel it. You got to sit down in a room with some nice, quiet music and just be with self. It's going to be weird.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But you need to, whether it be crying, something, or if you don't do it, you're going to you're going to feel stuck in everything you do. Like nothing's going right.
Mm-hmm,
Nothing's going right because you haven't taken the time to feel the emotion
mm-hmm,
and you haven't taken the time to try to do the work to feel and go through the emotion.
mm-hmm.
So you're not going to have it all figured out. Just take your time. And whoever said healing was easy, they lied.
Probably the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life, honestly,
Yeah.
because it's like getting in the boxing ring with yourself.
Oh
You're
my goodness.
literally taking all the blows yourself. You're like,
So
oh
you're
my
talking to
gosh.
yourself. You're talking to yourself. You're saying, "Did I just think that?" And you're like,
Mm-hmm,
"Yeah, I did." What do
mm-hmm.
you think about that? So you're
Yeah,
actually interviewing yourself every time
you
you
are.
have a moment, and you're like,
Yes.
"Wow." So and another thing, get this: healing is an everyday occurrence. It's daily. It's not
Mhm.
one time. I
Not a
thought it was
one-time
one
deal.
time. I thought it was one time. I really found out that it really is a daily activity. This is
Mm-hmm.
why people say have a routine in your life, something for you to do. When you wake up in the morning, you give your praises to the Lord Jesus Christ, you do some journeying, you listen to some motivational music, you talk to yourself in the mirror, tell yourself how handsome or how gorgeous you are, get your
Mm-hmm.
day started before you even pick up your cell phone.
Thank you. Before the world intrudes on your space and you know what's going on in everybody else's life. Mm-hmm.
Except for what's going on in your life. Ask
Yes.
yourself the question of Tanya, how do you feel? Well,
Mm-hmm.
don't call yourself Tanya unless you actually are Tanya.
Unless you're
but
Tanya. I love it.
but you say, how do you feel today?
Right.
Like it's gonna be a great day. That
Hmm.
type of stuff is a part of your healing journey and you figuring it out at your own pace.
Mm. You hit on so many key points. I cannot tell you how many people I've come across and they're like, but I already worked on that. Okay. Now go back and work a little deeper because we're still
Yeah.
talking about the same thing and we haven't fully flushed through. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and ask that inner child to come out and talk to her or him, right?
That part.
Because you can work on this level and then guess what? Then tomorrow you go out and some crazy thing happens in your life tomorrow. So now you got to go backwards and you're looking forward and you're all over the place, which is why I love that you talked about the routine aspect because you're
Mhm.
giving people tools and techniques to manage. Because again, life doesn't stop. So it's not like, okay, I went and I fixed this aspect. I'm good to go. It's like you
No.
go to get the oil changed at the Jiffy Lube and now you're like, okay, my car's good for another 5,000 miles. No, ma'am, toe jam, this could
No.
change. We could have a
This
few things happen right here today, and having
exactly.
those practices in place allow you to better navigate and decide what things you're going to allow to come into your space and impact you at that point in time.
Yeah.
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 Whew, goodness gracious, we could do this for hours and days, but it
I
is a beautiful
know.
day. I know. All right, so let's talk about transformation. It's a key aspect and pivotal point in your personal journey. Can you share more about your experience with transformation? Talk to us.
So transformation for me came through both a painful experience and a powerful experience. Losing my
Mm-hmm.
son was um, a game changer, a game changer. The life, the purpose, the legacy. Um, I did not allow any of that to silence me because I could have took the blue pill or I could have took the red
Mm-hmm.
pill. So of course I chose the blue pill and working through all that transformation and putting all of that energy into something positive by coming up with Ant 777 Motorcycle Foundation, where we educate car drivers and motorcyclists on the safetyness of riding on these roads and giving out, gloves and helmets, all those beautiful things to help educate those individuals on the safety part of riding a motorcycle and looking out for the motorcyclists. You know what I mean? Like, don't be rude because
Absolutely.
their safety and your safety is important. But that's you know pain and power. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
transfer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that you took something that could be a moment that completely shatters you, right? And
Mhm.
shatters your soul, but then you poured something in that allowed you to be able to almost not, I don't want to say balance, but it helped you to be able to work through. And as I like to say, as people are processing through emotions, you move through and not attached to. Because if we get
Right.
attached, then we get stuck. We can't get ourselves out of the situation. But
Right.
when we're able to sit with ourselves, just as you were sharing a moment ago, and have those moments to try to process,
Right.
but allow it to move through your mind, your body, your
Right.
soul, because if it gets stuck in any one of those places, now it's
Mhm.
trapped. And that's where
Yeah.
we go into like the body keeps the score. And now you've got all those things trapped inside of you because you weren't able to give yourself the time to process those things. And then there's going to be times where you need to process again and you need to give yourself that grace to do that, right? And have those moments for sure. Whew.
Yeah.
So yeah, transformation for
Mhm.
you, that was powerful. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. Tell us, what do you want readers to walk away from your book knowing?
Knowing that your past does not define you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving past the things that you used to do, how people used to see you, it has
Hmm.
nothing to do with the you that's right now, right here at this very
Hmm.
moment. Nothing to do with it.
Hmm.
And we we as people we can change, evolve into the person that we're meant to be and to fulfill a purpose that we were put on this green earth to pursue. So I would just say, yeah, it doesn't define your future.
Mhm.
Yep.
I love it. And when you change and you become that different version of you, oof, it's
Yeah.
different. I have
And
to
I hope
say,
that,
I
yeah, I
met
hope
with
that,
somebody a week ago, or maybe it was two now, and said,
yeah,
"You're different. You don't seem like the same person." I said, "What do you mean? Like, I'm in the same body. I feel like the same person. I looked in the mirror. She
yeah,
looks the same, right?" And
yeah,
so then that prompted me to ask a few others that I know, like, "Hey, am I different?" And they were like, "Yeah, you're totally different." I'm like, "Really? Well, what is different?" And it was just fascinating to get the feedback because when you're with yourself every single day, you tend to just see the same thing, right? You're like, "Yeah, I'm just going through the same motions, doing this, adding this thing here, working on that." And it was fascinating when I received feedback because I'm like, "Oh, so the work is working." Because you go through all of this work, right? You're trying to do
the
some
work is
self
working.
improvement. Yeah, the work is working. Things are happening over here. But it was fascinating because one of the feedbacks I received was, "Oh, you're much more confident now. You seem more at peace. You seem more grounded." I'm like, "Really? You see all of
Yeah,
that?" Because again, when you're with yourself all the time, sometimes you don't notice, but all of these changes add up. So I love that you pointed out that you can change who you are. You don't have to
yeah.
hold on to that old version or that version that doesn't serve you or serve this time
Hmm.
and space in your life, so huge.
Exactly. Embrace the journey of becoming. Embrace it
Mm. I was just about to
wholeheartedly.
ask you what's your one message to our listeners, and you just went right out there. You were like, "I read your mind. I'm already there. I'm there." I love that. All right, we are coming to a close, Tanya, and we have covered so much in this episode. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to have you back because there's so much more to talk about here. But what I want you to do before we wrap up is I'd love for you to share with our listeners how they can get in touch with you if they'd like to donate or just support your foundation. And then also, where can they go to get your book? And if they want to work with you, do anything that you're offering. I mean, you're creative, you've got a lot to offer. How do they find you? What do they do?
So, if you all out there want to contact little old me, Miss Tanya Stokes,
They will.
you,
They will.
you you can go on to my website, compassionate-designs.com. And on that website, you can leave your name, your email, and a message for me, and I can definitely get back with you as my students. It goes straight to my email. And
Perfect.
then if you'd like to donate to Ant 777 Motorcycle Foundation, you can go to Ant 777 motorcyclefoundation.org. And there you can read about the foundation and what it is that we do. There's a donation tab there and different varieties of donations. Not everybody can give, just give what you can give. That money goes straight to the foundation, and we use those funds to educate the individuals, motorists on the safety of motorcycles, and we have an event as well. So the events are on that website too, I believe.
Yes. I
But
did I
that's
did check it out. Yes, I did see events there. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tanya, for being here. Thank you for sharing all of your words of wisdom with our listeners. And I know that you will have people connecting with you for sure. And so, for our listeners, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Surviving the Human Experience podcast. And until next time, be well and stay blessed.